I touched your hand. Friction, a brush, a spark, and we caught. Ran reckless through the dark like struck flint, heat blooming in the hollow of your throat, your laughter breaking open the night, like a match snapped in half. Breathless, barefoot, wind-wild and want-fed, we let the world blur behind us, a smudge of dim city lights, a distant thrum, a thing forgotten. Love was a bonfire then, spitting embers, love notes red with dancing tongues, like incense, purifying an altar. Kisses sparked, hands like kindling, everything too much, too close, too bright. We burned through days, through maps and miles, through mornings laced with sweat and citrus, spoke in gasps, in hands at the small of a back, a palm that flared with your hips, in the hush between the door clicking shut, and the next collision. We burned, like a moth that does not know. That fire is ravenous, consuming seasoned hardwood. Yet flames can die. But the fire is not gone. It has learned restraint. It glows, slow and sure, beneath the ironwood years. A buried ember nestled in the grain of time, seeping warmth into the living marrow of bone. Not the leaping flare of youth, but the steady burn of something tested, tempered, true. It lingers in the hushed calm between spoken things, in the quiet choreography of knowing hands, in the way your breath folds into mine, like waves that have long learned the shore. Man knows woman, not hunger now, but sustenance, not fever, but the pulse beneath the skin, not the wild combustion of reckless nights, but the measured heat that seasons iron, that bends but does not break, that feels the weight of what will last. Step on step, hand on hand, woven into the deep, worn grooves of years. We are no longer kindling, no longer gust-fed flame, but the coal that keeps the hearth alive, the fire that does not boast of its own brightness, but burns on, unseen, unwavering, sure. Your voice no longer cracks the silence, but moves through it, filling its corners, folding itself into the quiet of the house, the long corridors of waiting, of knowing, of stay. Your hand is not grasping, but guiding, palms lined not with haste, but with the gentle assurance that comes from weathering the thousand small tempests that time and sorrow set upon the shore. Love is no longer the wild unspooling of ribbons in wind, but the binding of pages, the leather-worn weight of a tome, read again and again, its meaning shifting, deepening, with each turning of the leaves. We have walked through fire and not been consumed, have buried our dead and risen again, have learned that love is not measured in the breaking, but in the bending, in the binding, in the slow gold light of endurance. And still you are fire, a coal that holds its heat in the long dark, the lantern that does not flare, but burns, steady as the tide. And still I am wood, but now the oak that will not break, that yields only enough to hold your name in its grain, to whisper through its rings that once we were wild, But now we are wise, and when the last ember turns to ash, when winter, white and still, lays its final blanket upon our bones, it will not be as those who burned and were lost, but as those who, having burned, became light.